What's going on, good people? I am Scott Churchson alongside Mr. Robert Manning down below, and to my side, Mr. Davion Bussey. This is Tales from the Film Set. We're going to be talking basically San Diego Comic-Con. We're going to be talking a little bit of what's going on with Deadpool. Perhaps you've heard of that movie. Perhaps you've seen that movie. That, of course, is the movie with that guy from Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place, that dude from a couple of Australian soap operas, and a cameo or two, including that guy from Expendables 3. He had a cameo in there. The girl from Karate Kid 3, her sister was in it, had a cameo as well. But anyway, how you guys doing?
I'm fantastic.
Are you fantastic, or are you just saying you're fantastic?
I have a brain.
Brains are awesome, especially basically with a little soy sauce. Yeah.
All
right.
I'm great. And Scott, I just want to give you a round of applause. You said my name right.
What else? I usually say your name right, Mr. Robert.
You usually
Manning?
call me Rob Manning, and today you finally said Robert Manning. So proud of you.
Okay. What is your middle name, by the way, sir?
John Victor.
You got two middle names?
Yeah.
Dude. Robert John Victor.
Dox me on the internet. I'm Robert John Victor Manning.
Actually, I can call you RJ.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Call me Victor Von Doom.
Yeah, well, actually, that's a really good segue there. What do you know?
Yeah.
I'm
not going to tell you my middle name, so let's keep it going, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, speaking of RDJ.
Yeah, that's a nice little segue. Okay, so in what can probably only be described as a massive, massive, massive Hail Mary. By the way, hello, Mamba. How are you doing?
Hey, Mama.
So, wow. So, Robert Downey Jr. has been announced as Dr. Doom in the latest Marvel, let's see if we can save the franchise. Holy crap, this whole thing is dying right now. Let's bring back the guy who started the whole thing.
Right.
This reeks to me of just like a desperate Hail Mary. You know, I wonder if I don't know if this is going to work. I don't think it's going to hurt Robert Downey Jr.'s legacy too much if this ends up being an epic failure, because he launched the franchise with Iron Man. But at the same time, if this doesn't work, are we done with MCU?
I would say no.
No.
And I don't think it's going to be an epic fail, because you got the Russo brothers that are actually directing and writing and trying to set up story arcs for these two films, and making sure Robert Downey Jr. has that villainous role in this film. And to be honest with everybody, it's not the Doom that you know. It's a different variant of Doom. So don't think this is the Doom that is going to be in the 616.
Mm-hmm.
No, but this is the Doom from the comic books, most likely, where Iron Man and Dr. Doom switch bodies. There's been multiple times that they've done it in the comics. If it's Dr. Doom becoming Iron Man becoming Dr. Doom, there are at least 3 different series or 3 times that they've done it. So I think, there's theories that
it's going to be 2 films. It's going to be 2. Yeah. It's not a theory. No, it's not a theory. It's actually been.
I'm saying there's theories.
No, I'm talking about the question.
I was saying there's theories that he'll be in both movies. He's going to, he'll come back in Secret Wars because the main villain is Dr. Doom. Yes.
No. So what's going to happen is he's going to be in Doomsday Avengers.
Yes, and
then he's going to be in Secret Wars.
Yes.
So it's 2 different films. You said Fantastic Four movie.
Whatever, the Doomsday Avengers thing.
So correction, ladies.
But he's probably going to make a cameo in the Fantastic Four.
We don't know. I'm not spilling no beans.
Here's what I'll say. Disney, I'm sorry, Marvel. Actually, let me back that up. Disney has a habit of using projects to introduce and advertise future projects.
Right. Yeah.
Now, one would assume, at this point, you've made, frankly, a really good splash. This is a big move. It was a big highlight and everything like that. They know he's coming. At least they bet of it. So if there is the possibility that he would make a cameo in a movie, I think people would go to see that cameo more than possibly the movie itself.
Well, that's why I said we'll see. I'm pretty sure we'll see him because Fantastic Four comes out next year, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, and then Doomsday comes 26, and then the other one's one scene of the Fantastic Four to lead you up to Doomsday. Yes, the Mutant Saga. Yeah, Saga, whatever.
No, it's a difference, dude. It's a difference. Sega is a console.
Well, Saga, you know what? Marvel has a console too, so it's all good.
You know what? Anyway, by all means, I like the move. I'm not saying it was the smartest move to make the announcement right then at San Diego Comic-Con, but it was a move that needed to be played so people can have their anticipation driving and running so they can see those films.
Well, the question is, when is Fantastic Four supposed to release? Like, what do we have a release date at all?
Actually, ironically enough, I brought this up for different reasons, but this actually works out really well. July 25th, 25.
That's why. That is why they announced that at San Diego and not next year San Diego. Because that actually ties in really well with my theory that we will see Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom in the Fantastic Four movie.
Makes sense.
Because that would be the weekend of San Diego Comic-Con.
Now, here's where this is going to get more interesting as well. Now, I looked at the numbers just now. Throw that back up there. So, Avengers, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four. If you have too many, I think it's going to water the product down, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. But it's funny because in this case here, Robert Downey Jr., when it came to Avengers Endgame, he got $75 million for Endgame. My question is, how much is he getting for this?
How much is the Russo brothers are getting for this?
Also valid too. I didn't actually look at the numbers for Russo for that. But RDJ honestly is more iconic to the MCU than the Russo brothers are. Russo, it was a package deal. I get that, but he's the staple. His decision to ad-lib the line "I am Iron Man" launched the franchise. So in this case here, if he got $75 million to do Endgame, is he going to get over $100 million for Fantastic Four?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I will say, and we can talk about this too, is I think it's funny that Robert Downey Jr. was originally supposed to be Dr. Doom from the original Fantastic Four movies. He was he auditioned for it and he failed. They're like, sorry, you failed the audition. And then that's when Marvel grabbed him as Iron Man. But it'd be interesting.
Sometimes you stay on a radar. That's the thing,
And not only that, he's better as Iron Man than it is.
The two characters are a lot alike. So,
not really. No.
Yes, they're both
egotistical geniuses, but kind of
scientists.
You could see him flipping from one side to the other. Either one, I think, is possible to be the other.
Yeah, one just one went a bad way, one went a good way. That's how you look at it. But they're both scientists, and that's why it makes sense that you bring it. And I think it's a smart idea to finally go this route than to see the same old Doctor Doom that we have in the last two times that we have seen Doctor Doom. Why not try something different?
Well,
it's an original idea.
It is a smart move, but if you look at, like I said, the box office here, bottom right, the first original Iron Man, let me open that up a little bit more.
And I love, I can't remember what the interview said, but that original Iron Man movie, he didn't even get paid that much. And the guy that played War Machine asked for more money. And then that's why he didn't get asked back in the second one.
Terrence Howard. Yeah. And then they got Don Cheadle.
if I'm not mistaken, Robert got 500,000.
He might have.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the exact numbers, but I remember it being he was like a low number, and then Terrence was like $1 million at least. And then in the second one, they gave Robert a lot more money, and they didn't ask Terrence to come back because of how much he was asking.
Possible post credit scene that could make 100% sense.
Yeah, that would be your smartest move.
But looking at the wait, there we go. Looking at, like I said, what the MCU has done by box office, you know, I mean, Iron Man 585, and then Avengers started breaking $1 billion. You get $1 billion.
Now, are these numbers that we're seeing on the left, are those opening weekends?
Opening weekend is the second number in, but I'm looking at the number on the far right I'm just going by worldwide box office on the right side.
Okay. Yeah.
But if we scroll to, like, say, you know, look at Captain Marvel into that too. You know, you got $4 billion movies there. Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness was close, but you've had average since.
Did any movie not make back their money?
What's that?
I was asking if any Marvel project did not make. Oh, the Marvels did not make their budget.
No. Marvel's lost money. Captain America: Brave New World is literally going to. I can guarantee he's going to lose money on that. Because Captain America: Brave New World. Do you know what the budget is on that?
How much?
$350 million.
That's that, but you've got the Red Hulk in it. I'm pretty sure it'll make at least.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares about Red Hulk, and nobody cares about Anthony Mackie as Captain America.
I don't believe you on that.
I'm keeping my mouth closed.
That movie would basically have to make about $1 billion to break even.
Well, no, if its budget's 300, it would have to make 350, or what you said. It would have to make 700, right?
350 to 375, yeah.
So it'd have to make $700 million.
But here's the other side of it. When you go back to what it was, is you have Brave New World in February, but then you have Fantastic Four coming in July. You know, people might save and just wait out Fantastic Four in this case.
I don't believe that.
You know what? Actually, I have another question. When is the Super Bowl next year?
Would it be before?
Wait.
Because, and Captain America comes out on Valentine's Day. That's going to be a perfect timing.
Actually, ironically, that is Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Super Bowl is the weekend before. Okay, it's not going to conflict in that case. But you know, if you look at what you have there, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 Phase 5 movies coming out there, and then you have another 4 coming out in 26.
Well, we know that Blade will probably get pushed back again.
Well, okay, they might, but they're doing the same thing that brought them problems in the first place, where they were just plowing, film after film after film. After Iger was like, you know what, Feige were like, we're going to slow this down, we're going to bring this down a notch. You know, now all of a sudden they're just like, you know what, let's fire out more projects. They're going to they're going to do the same mistake that they did before, where they're just going to have quantity over quality. You know, I mean,
I don't know. I don't know what your beef is with the Captain America Brave New World, because I looked at the trailer, and that trailer has a lot of people hyped.
The amount of reshoots that are involved in there, and I don't think Anthony Mackie has the carrying power.
I disagree with that. I love the comic books of the
but it's not what Scott is saying. It's not about the character itself. It's about
I think
the actor himself, because he has that draw. Do he can bring in the audience like a Robert Downey Jr. Like a person like Chadwick Boseman who passed.
Yes.
Do he has that power?
Question: is there a way to bring up? I don't know if it's possible because it's streaming service. Is there a way to bring up the budget of what the Falcon and Winter Soldier TV show was and what it made?
I mean, here's the thing: what it made is difficult because it was streaming. That's the budget on that was $150 million for 6 episodes. That's $25 million an episode. That's a lot.
Not bad. Well, you think about it; it was one full movie. I mean, because you could have easily took all 6 of those episodes and released it as a movie.
Well, see, there's the problem because Falcon and Winter Soldier was kind of lukewarm. People have already gotten their taste of the new Captain America.
I can't.
The intrigue is diminished as a result.
I can't wait until February and it can be like, told you, Scott, look, it's cash. Because y'all didn't think Barbie was going to do good.
I did. Well, I knew Barbie was going.
Barbie did not have a budget greater than the gross domestic product of 6 different countries on the planet.
All right, Day.
There are 6 countries. There are 6 countries in this world that actually have a GDP lower than the budget of this film.
Day, all right, Day. I want to hear your opinion. I want to hear your opinion, Day. You think this will be trash?
I looked at the trailer. I'm intrigued. I'm interested in seeing it. I'm not going to say trash or cash at this moment because of the fact that
you want to see more footage.
Yeah, and then not only that, Marvel is a hit and miss. There's films that can be a huge hit, but then there's films that's going to be a huge miss. I think, and I'm just putting my personal opinion about this, I'm going to have to go with Rob. I really think this may be a hit.
Okay.
I think I'm going to be surprised. Okay. Not only that, you got, you got a good cast of people in this film.
There is.
You got a good cast of people. And you might have an interesting story. So it's going to be interesting to see how this turns out. Now, I could be wrong, but I'm not throwing my hat in right there. I'm just making an assumption. But it is subject to change.
Change. I don't know.
But overall, I'm just going to say we already know the budget for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just, like I told people, it's not over yet. They got this coming weekend. They got, matter of fact, this week alone. This weekend coming. Next weekend. This film is going to make $1 billion. Maybe $500 million or more.
My question is, here's my question about the whole thing. Why did they not count, what's it at now? What's the Deadpool Wolverine at now?
444.
Why have they not counted yesterday's numbers?
Probably haven't calculated it yet.
Calculated.
Sometimes these things take a day to be able to work all the box office numbers.
Because, normally we shouldn't have updated by Monday now.
In theory, but you don't know what kind of hangups there. Listen, worldwide box office numbers can sometimes take 24 hours to get. And it might actually update at midnight. So you might get Sunday by tomorrow.
Okay, because I think it made more than 440 all weekend, and they're saying that it only made 400 in the weekend, but they're not counting yesterday. Yesterday counts as the weekend. Because right now they're saying Deadpool Wolverine was the 8th movie of all history in the U.S. to make the most money on opening weekend, which I think it's not fair to not count Sunday with that thing. And then Deadpool Wolverine is now the #1 rated R movie for opening weekend. So that was pretty cool.
As mentioned, 1,780,000 is what Joker did. So you're going to have to surpass that to get the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time.
I think it's possible.
Honestly, I'm very surprised that there's only one movie in R-rated history that ever broke $1 billion. I'm very surprised by that. I would have figured there would have been other movies that have done it.
Yeah.
Wolverine.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to talk about that movie.
You went to sit there and you want to talk about Deadpool?
You want to talk about
Deadpool?
We could talk about it, man. We could talk about it. Come on, we could talk about it.
But let the viewers know, spoilers alerts are coming soon to a screen near you.
If you haven't seen the movie,
get out of here and go see it.
Hang on, let me do this proper here. Do this proper. So, I got to put a proper thing on there.
And yes, I'm talking like this because I want.
Yeah, what?
Spoilers. Oh, question. Do we get demonetized if we say the F-bomb because we're talking about Deadpool Wolverine?
We're 20 minutes in, so I don't think it'll be a fucking problem.
So let's fucking go.
By the way, that might be the first time that Rob Manning's ever dropped an F-bomb like in his entire life.
Oh, this movie deserves it.
Oh my god!
So.
Okay,
Rob just dropped the F-bomb.
No, he didn't. You got no proof. Even though we're recording, you have no proof.
Replayed the videotape.
Well, if you do, Rob, they're specifically watching for you. Yeah.
There was, well,
we're demonetized now. Congratulations.
I wouldn't sweat that one.
Oh.
Usually, it's funny. The way YouTube typically works is it's more inclined to catch obscenities in the beginning of a video. Yeah. So a lot of times people will sit there and they'll time it out and wait, like with a stopwatch. It's like, okay, we can drop an obscenity now. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But it is what it is. Oh my
gosh. Oh, so where do we want to start?
Yo. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I had the privilege to see the film. I actually posted on YouTube. And by golly, I love this freaking movie.
Yeah.
I love it so much that I will go back and watch it again. And again. And again. That's how good this movie is. Well, all jokes aside, Deadpool and Wolverine, it's not that film you take serious. It's a break from... Is it okay I can say it?
By the only it depends on what you're going to say, as long as basically you follow through on this one.
It's away from the woke theory that Disney has been pushing in most of their movies.
I get it.
It's a break. And for Disney to go to the rated R and give, what's the guy's name? The director.
Sean Levy.
Yeah.
Give Sean Levy, Ryan Reynolds, the green to do what they did.
Wait, Ryan Reynolds is in this movie?
I think so, yeah.
Spoiler.
Yeah, I was going to say, like I said, I thought he was that guy from Green Lantern.
All of us did. But anyway, to give this guy the opportunity to make a film and make jokes about Disney.
Not just Disney.
Fox.
Not just Fox.
Blade.
About people's personal lives, too.
Yes. It's like, oh my God, you loved it. You loved the fact that Wolverine was Wolverine. You loved... Can we call them cameos, or do we call the supporting actors cameos?
They're still cameos because, especially the one that I know we'll definitely talk about, because they passed away, they are now just a cameo.
Wait.
I think... Oh. Okay.
The one that got shredded? Flame On?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. 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 That cameo.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, the cameos that were supportive. Of course, everybody knew about X-23.
Yes.
Everybody knew about Electra.
Electra, Jennifer Garner.
Well, you didn't know about X-23 unless you watched the last trailer. I will say that.
I was shocked about Gambit.
Mm-hmm.
That was a shocker.
That was so good.
But the one, ladies and gentlemen, the one that we've all been waiting for. Not my king, but my Blade. Wesley Snipes, ladies and gentlemen. Wesley Snipes making his return as Blade.
I love what he said. I'm the only Blade.
Oh, my brother. Testify. He is the only Blade.
Well, there was a TV show.
We We don't count that.
He was in Spider-Man the animated series too.
Yeah.
I forget who voiced him though.
But the point exactly, even though he kind of damaged.
Oh, we don't care about damage.
Okay.
I do.
I meant the camera don't care. Camera won't see it.
But just to have Wesley Snipes back proves to us that he still got it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we don't know if he's back.
We don't know because he called it out, said, I'm the only Blade. Ladies and gentlemen, in Blade we trust, ladies and gentlemen. Wesley Snipes, we want you to be Blade again.
How about we just scrap that Blade movie that's been announced since 2019 and just put Wesley Snipes?
Yes, I agree with you, Rob. No, it's been a couple of times I agree with you. But anyway, we want Blade.
Yeah.
Surprised. No, I've been found out before Comic-Con.
Well, I didn't. Well, good job, spoiler alert. Bye.
But also, don't forget that in Blade 3, Ryan Reynolds was in that one.
Yes, and they make a reference to that in the movie because he said, "You always hated working with me," and it's because the actor hated Ryan Reynolds in real life. There was some drama about 20 years ago, but
I'm going to correct you on that.
I'm not wrong.
No, I'm going to correct you on that. He didn't hate the actor.
Yes.
No. Let me finish. He was improvising. This was the with Wesley Snipes. He likes to say in character. What happened was he was visualizing Ryan Reynolds as the character of who he was portraying. That's why he said he hated Ryan Reynolds. Because he was talking about the character that Ryan Reynolds was playing. But his real problem was the director.
There was some issues on set. I've been hearing all about it all week. There was issues on set between the two.
Oh, with this movie?
No. From the original Blade movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There was issues between the two.
Yeah.
That caused a feud.
It's not this, but see, here's the thing. That can happen a lot of times when you have a character that ad-libs versus a character that sticks to the script. Right. There was another movie we just mentioned. There was a massive issue with that. On the Joker film, that was a major source of contention for Robert De Niro. Yeah. Because he works only off script, and Joaquin Phoenix pretty much only went off ad-lib. So as a result, the two butted heads in a massive way for that talk show scene, because one would go one way, one would go the other, and it didn't fly.
Wow. It's kind of funny. There's a fly flying in my room right now.
I was there for I had one day on Joker, and it was like right after Robert De Niro's character was murdered. And it's funny because the people in the audience spent like 10 days doing that scene, and they're like, we watched so much hate going on. Because they're like, oh my God, De Niro hates him so much right now. And I've watched De Niro. He teleprompters, and that's it. And then of course, obviously Joker has to be manic. You know, you let somebody like, you know, Phoenix, you let Heath Ledger, you let Mark Hamill, you let them roll. And as a result, the flow of dialogue doesn't fly. You know, so as a result, when you have somebody like Wesley Snipes, who is the franchise, you know, and it's the third movie and very focused, and you have somebody like Ryan Reynolds who went off the cuff, flew like he did, and introduced me to an insult that I'd never heard before, and I am afraid to use now from Blade Trinity, that to this day is one of the greatest insults of all time and one I will not ever try and use. It's, how do I put this? Thor, love, and then whatever that word is, and then a really, really dark version for a woman's anatomical area.
Oh.
Yeah. So basically, Thor, love, and that word. And then the second word rhymes with what you do on fourth down when you have 15 yards. Ryan Reynolds used that line in Blade Trinity. I'm like, oh my God, that's an amazing insult. I can't use this.
Yeah, on that note.
So I do want to mention there was There is one big issue I had with the movie.
Okay.
It had nothing to do with the villain, and it's as a Christian. Now, if there are non-Christians obviously watching this podcast, watching the movie. But if you're a Christian, there was something that I see why they did it after doing some investigation, because it was a homage to the comics. But I didn't like when they did the full crucified thing that they showed in the movie.
Oh.
That went a little too far, but it's a reference. They did that in the actual comic book cover,
right?
Where it's Wolverine crucified on one of the comics.
Right. I was about to tell you that.
I didn't know about that until because we were, I chat on Facebook and stuff, and I said they were talking about how a Christian said they left 25 minutes within the movie, and I said, well, there was one issue I had with the movie. I kind of overlooked it a little bit, but I still was not comfortable with that scene. Now the rest of the movie kind of made up for it, but I didn't like that scene particularly, And then I was like, okay, they're making a homage to the actual comics,
not towards.
I kind of felt like they could have not had to show us that, but I know why they did it because of the whole Marvel Jesus, which, So to me, that was like kind of a stab. But besides that, I really loved the movie. I loved when we got the Hulk 181 cover, basically, because Ryan Reynolds is like, yo, why, you're wearing this suit, and right in the claws, we get to see Hulk's face, and right behind him is the Hulk. And oh my gosh, that was perfect.
Now, I will say this. There were two variants of Wolverines that I did fall in love in and crack my ass off. I'm sorry. I laughed my ass off with one, and I was like, oh, my God. Okay, so when they did the midget Wolverine.
Which was common accurate because they always made a joke that Hugh Jackman's too tall to be Wolverine. And
from the first X-Men movie that was made.
That's why they did the 5'3" Wolverine.
That was hilarious. You're like, what up, bub? How you doing, bub? I was like, okay, now I understand why it wouldn't work. And
Old Man Logan.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands like this.
No, I'm not praying for.
Come on, put your hands. I'm not
praying for Calverine. No.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Lord Jesus.
No.
Our 616 Wolverine should be Henry Cavill.
No.
Oh my God. No. That was freaking awesome.
No.
Yes, Henry Cavill.
I would have rather seen Daniel Radcliffe.
Maybe for a younger Wolverine. But
that was a funny scene. I did love when he's like, hey, come to us. We'll treat you better than the studio down the street.
Yeah. Oh.
That's what he said. He said, are you finally joining us? We'll treat you better. And it was so funny because they did Henry dirty.
DC.
Superman, Henry, they have done him dirty, and but it wasn't nice that they did a lot of fan service for the movie, because just like in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, you had John how do you say his last name? Krasinski?
John Krasinski.
John Krasinski.
Yeah, Krasinski as Fantastic Four, which was a fan casting, and they just did the same thing with Henry Henry Superman.
The guy from The Witcher before Liam Hemsworth. right day.
Or the worst Superman ever. Hot drop. But yeah. You can tell Ryan Reynolds was talking to jab at. He jabs at DC. He jabs at Warner Brothers.
He jabs at Disney themselves, Marvel.
Here's what makes this interesting about this. In this case here, a lot of times you have movies that got to sit there and play ball. Basically do the right thing. In this case, it shows the unbridled power that Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds, and Hugh Jackman have. That they can look at the biggest franchise, the biggest studios in the world, and be like, you know what? I can take you on, and I'm bulletproof. to have that kind of power.
I was gonna say I love the jabs at personal life too. Is like because there was two. The one where Deadpool calls out Wolverine's divorce and was talking about Hugh Jackman's actual divorce.
That divorce hurt my heart, by the way, too.
He said, "You let yourself go. That's why we're not going to show you with no shirt off," which, spoiler, they do. And then another one was when Jennifer Gardner, which is Elektra, when they're like, "Oh, they killed off Daredevil." Which she was married to Ben Affleck.
Yes.
And so it's so funny that they like stabbed at both, because there was rumors that Daredevil was going to be in the movie, and technically he is. He's just part of the credits at the end of the movie, which was a beautiful touch to wrap up the whole Fox thing, because we're not going to see that. Besides, obviously, Hugh's going to be here now until 90, which they made that joke a couple times. They're like, well, he was dead in Fox, and now we brought him back, and we're going to use him until he's 90.
And X-23 is coming back.
Yeah, but those are the X-23. You got Logan, and you obviously got Deadpool. Those are going to be your only three kind of characters that, I mean, maybe Wesley Snipes. I don't think we're going to see Elektra again. No, we definitely can't see this other cameo we haven't talked about, which was Chris Evans as Johnny Storm. And oh my gosh, I love when Deadpool just calls him out, says, "Hey, he said this about you." He's like,
"That
no,
was
say this." And end credit scene, they had Chris Evans say every single thing. And it was great.
And Wolverine was looking at him like, why?
He's like, "Bro," he's like, "you just got him killed." He's like, "I didn't get him killed. He literally said that."
Technically, once he showed the footage, he was right.
Yeah.
So let me switch up a little bit here. I'm trying to get, we did a lot of spoilers in this case. I want to pull it back a little bit if I can.
All right. No more spoilers.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, it's just one of those things that I was afraid, because I'm looking at the numbers right now and who's popping in, who's popping out.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid that people were like, Blade was out. No, I don't know that. Do you think Deadpool and Wolverine can actually help the MCU, or is it a flash in the pan as far as the grand scheme of things?
Do you guys think that Deadpool really got Chris? Oh my gosh. But no, I think this, I think it shows, and here's my thought, is that Marvel, not saying they will, but they can start doing rated R movies too. And it's bringing in a pull. You know, some people are tired of the family friendly stuff that they give. Now, there's been a lot of complaints about this movie. "Oh, I brought my kids and now they're traumatized."
That's been a thing for decades, man.
It's like, no, this movie clearly states it is rated R. It's not rated R for reality. No,
R for really, really safe.
To be honest with you, I even brought up the fact, I think on last show or the show before that, about this movie, like, audience, be mindful of what you do. Don't just
don't bring your kids to go see this. Unless they're kids, monsters at 10 years old.
No, I will say unless you understand, your children understand the difference between rated R movies, the guidelines and stuff like that. But if you brought your kids to see a rated R movie and you claim, "Oh, I didn't realize," that's your fault.
Yeah.
That's nobody's fault but yourself, because realistically, if you know the graphics and how violent this movie is, and you want to basically say, "Oh, my child is the purest thing in the world,"
then this is the worst movie.
And how dare you consume and make me bring my child to see this?
I just wanted to see Wolverine.
It's funny because I think in this case, back in the 80s and 90s, in the pre-internet days, people would be like, "Oh my God, I didn't know Terminator 2 was going to be rated R and have the violence that it had and everything," or any other example, or True Life. But now, I mean, everything is available, through a phone. You can see every trailer, you can see every review, you can see everything through social media, Reddit. You know what you're getting into. So I think personally, it really was one of those small minority clickbait sort of stories where somebody out there, maybe some grandma, was like, "Oh, we're gonna go see the Deadpool movie," and so because you got the little 6-year-old kids like, "I'm gonna go with grandma because you know what, grandma's my ticket to see this movie, and then I can be cool in school."
Hi, Grandma. Can I go see Deadpool Wolverine?
Ooh, basically, and grandma's like, "Okay, we'll go out for a butterscotch candy afterwards," But,
Wait, and then once she sees the movie, it's that long ride home.
It's like basically, okay, I'm gonna tell you guys a story. Robin, my wife Robin, when we were tied to the Hoboken Film Festival back in 2016, she had a small role in an independent film, and I don't remember much about it, but she brought her parents to go see it. It was like big premiere, of this film. Bring her mom and dad. They went to go see it and everything like that. I got them to meet Bob Clohessy from Blue Bloods, which is a great way to build rapport with my father-in-law. And they sat in the block and they're watching it and excited. Their movie's gonna be towards the end. The movie before it made Boogie Nights look like Sesame Street. So if you know what Boogie Nights is like, there was so much oral in the movie right before it, and Robin's sitting there, and her parents are right here, and she's just like, "Oh my God!" She leans over and to her mom is like, "I am so sorry," and her mom was like, "We've been around the block, right?"
Wait, we gotta do the LL Cool J moment.
And it was one of those things that to this day, she's still mortified as crap. When Helene passes, we're probably going to talk about that at the memorial thing. But, by the way, unofficial on that one. But it was one of those things that sometimes you get these people that are kind of oblivious going into stuff. So you might get some grandma or one of those like South Park things where you bribe a homeless guy and go see Asses of Fire. And then suddenly, like I said, you're cool. But in this era where everything is available through YouTube, I don't know what the Latin phrase for "let the watcher beware," caveat, I don't know what the word for watcher is, but that's basically how it is in today's society.
And when you walk into the theaters, right away too, there's plenty of signs saying that Deadpool Wolverine is a rated R movie.
Yeah,
you gotta have an ID in order to watch this movie, Yeah. And it's like if a grandma's taking their kids and she's having to show ID and she's not understanding what it is.
Perfect example. After what Wama said, remember a movie called Project X?
Yes.
How many?
About the
No. Let me finish. You literally had police at the door at every movie theater, and they had to card every individual just to see that movie because of the stuff that was involved in that film.
Yep.
Perfect movie for kids.
No,
I'm being sarcastic.
I know, but no, that like I got carded, and I was a college student. And I'm like, "Yo, look at the grade. I got grade, man." He was like, "Don't care."
And then eventually, and nowadays, if you get carded, you're like, "Oh my God, thank you."
Oh no, I'd be like, "Man, come on, man."
I'd card you.
And I'll probably ignore you.
Can you feel the love tonight? So, yeah.
But yes, like I said in my review, I do give Deadpool Wolverine a 10 out of 10. Like I was just getting a disclaimer to, there are certain parts that you may not find comfortable. But you also should technically expect that in a Deadpool movie, especially after the last two, especially what the first one did in like 10 minutes. But, I will say it was a lot less. I think they toned down the sexual a little bit.
It's not. No, it wasn't even.
They did tone it down.
No, it wasn't even. It wasn't really no sexual things on that.
In the first one,
Yes.
Hmm.
And yes, there was a lot of sexual in this one.
No, it wasn't.
You may want to go rewatch that movie.
Yeah, I'm going to rewatch it, but I'm
just going to step out and let you guys talk.
Anyways, no, don't step out. But anyways, yes, the whole dog.
Actually, never mind. I can't figure out how to do it anyway, so screw that.
The whole dog thing, that was pretty, yeah.
Oh, anyway. Come on. How many people dog licks their lips?
Not the way that dog was licking. They made the G-spot reference. I mean, they did pretty.
They said reference.
Well, how much could Deadpool Wolverine help the MCU? I think it's going to help it 100%. That's what I'm going to say. It's going to finally bring people back to the theaters, and that's why I think that Captain America will be a huge success, even though Scott says it's going to be trash.
Well, not this movie. I said, Captain America.
No, then I just said that's why I think Captain America will be a huge success, even though Scott thinks it'll be trash.
Well, actually, no. Kyle's comment about peanut butter brought me a reference to the movie Road Trip from 2000. A movie you guys
down.
Never ever.
So, all right. I want to show you guys something that actually happened during. This is safe, by the way. This is 100% safe. But this happened at San Diego Comic-Con this weekend. And I swear to God, I need to learn how to do this because the next time I ride an escalator, this would be perfect.
Oh, are we talking about gender? Oh, no. Okay. I do want to mention something else after.
Trumpet. I need to learn how to do that so I can just basically introduce myself on escalators.
Speaking of SDCC and speaking of Jennifer Gardner
and elevators,
that was an escalator, but Jennifer Gardner at her first convention got stuck in an elevator for
an hour.
1 hour.
For an hour. And she's like, I need an actual superhero right now. Where's Deadpool?
We apologize for any inconvenience. Now in this case, was she trapped in an elevator with someone or was she solo?
Yeah, she was trapped in an elevator with some people.
Well, she might have had a handler or a PA, I would imagine.
Yeah. I didn't watch all the videos because they're on her Instagram. I only was able to scroll through the one and get to hear her 2-minute update, and then I saw there was 11-minute update. She was updating through the different times of how long she was stuck in this elevator, and I hope that gets addressed for next year so people aren't stuck in elevators.
I was I was stuck in the elevator before, and it was the 46th floor when I was interning for a particular radio station, and I was by myself. And
I would lose my mind if I ever
got. I was calm because in the back of my mind, I was an intern at that time. I was like, "Look, if this thing drops, my mom is getting paid."
Well, also at the same time, it's kind of like, well, I'm on shift and being paid to sit here right now.
Now you got me thinking of
everybody's getting stuck in an elevator, but me.
12 rounds.
The
movie
with John Cena,
where the guy falls from the elevator.
Oh, don't remind me.
But anyways,
see, the question is basically after an hour, do you start like designating corners of the elevator?
Yeah.
It's like okay. See, Mwamba got stuck in an elevator. Kyle, Day. It's like I feel like I'm the only one that's actually missed out on this privilege in life.
I haven't got stuck in an elevator.
All right, cool. So you and me, we're gonna ride elevators till we get stuck.
I'm gonna push all the buttons.
Oh, of course you will.
I've done that. I did that before, and someone walked in, saw what I did because I was buddy, and walked right out.
I would have done the same thing.
I believe I have. I believe I have done that just in like a general manic moment.
And they looked. And they're like, it was great. I had no shame.
By the way, how did Buddy understand what the lights were for?
Huh? It's a Christmas tree.
Yeah, but how did he know the lights were going to turn on?
What do you mean? He saw the person do it.
He did. Okay. I figured you were going to be a landscaper.
He went like that. The guy went like that. He's like, "Ooh," and then he went, "Wee."
Wait, how did that go?
Wee.
By the way, I have been operating on no sleep, like 4:15 in the morning for like the last week with everything going on. So
he wants to see wee.
I'm not even drunk right now. It's just going to... Oh, good Lord. Anyway, so how about those Mets?
But yes, SDCC was insane. I wasn't there, obviously, because I was at work. But I have a future goal. I want to sacrifice all cons next year, and the only con I want to go to is SDCC next year.
You know what? You may have somebody else that want to do that.
Well, I mean, y'all can get in, but I don't know if I can get you in. I mean, listen, I got you Fan Expo Chicago, by the way. That's got to count for something. That's got to count for something.
We have Fan Expo Chicago.
The one in Jersey, we could not get into.
Well,
but the one with Mark Hamill and William Shatner, they're like, yeah, sure, Scott, you guys are awesome. Come on.
I think it's the company itself, because I've tried emailing them myself to ask if they allow press at all, and I never got a response either.
Yeah, but you know what it is? My ego took a hit because my buddy Kyle, not Kyle Krieger, my buddy Kyle, sent that to me, and he's like, can you get in? I'm like, yeah, sure, it won't be a problem. We got all these, and they're like, they just like flip and ghost me straight at her, But meanwhile, it's like all the fan expos we get. Contropolis, like the weekend before, Day got that one, and it's like really the one that highlights basically Goku and Peter Cullen, and you're like, no. We can get William Shatner and Mark Hamill and Marissa Tomei.
Well, we have Peter Cullen and Frank Welker.
Which is also my point. We got it elsewhere.
But we got it at Fan Expo, so, that's good.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? I wanted to go with Kyle on this one. Me, Kyle, and Day, I wanted to be a trio on this because he really wanted to basically meet Peter Cullen. I'm like, yeah, sure, we can make it happen. But...
Yeah. We will talk off camera, but I have a couple ideas that I want to throw by you to see how successful we can do at Chicago. And I've got a pretty creative idea that I want to do because,
I'm probably going to say yes to it because I trust your judgment. But
yeah, I also want you to bounce ideas back to me. But yeah, We'll talk about that after. We still got 2 weeks.
If we can do that, maybe tomorrow.
No, I'm saying we can do it like next week. We can.
Oh, all right, yeah.
Deal with what you're doing.
Let me get through tonight. Let me get through tonight and all its crap. So
let's. Like I said, we'll get through the week. We'll talk about. But one thing I do want to mention. I know this is off topic, but I do want to give a rip to Shannon Doherty and.
We actually didn't address that. Did we?
No. I don't think we really have gotten to talk about it. And we lost a lot of celebrities. One of the weeks that we didn't film, we lost like 9 celebrities in 1 week, which is the most that I've ever seen just in a time period. It doesn't matter if all the people were famous, but this one was a huge one. And what hurt me with this one is the week before she passed away, I gave her a shout out on her page talking about the Let's Be Clear podcast and stuff and about her going into chemo. And she thought she had at least another couple of years. And to lose her all of a sudden, and what's crazy is, she was on Little House on the Prairie.
Yes.
And Michael Landon also passed away from cancer at the age of 54, and she passed away at the age of 53. And actually, speaking of the Let's Be Clear podcast, if you guys want one kind of final moment, you don't get to hear her voice, but they did a tribute of all the actors that worked with her. They did it on the podcast, and there's a number you can call. I don't know the number, but there is a number that's attached to the podcast that you as a fan can call, and they're going to try to get as many as they can and do a special episode where it's the fans giving back and stuff.
Well, I know Kevin Smith. She was in a couple of free Kevin Smith films. Mallrats, Strikes Back, and I think a couple of later ones.
Yes, and another thing about this too is it's going to be interesting. speaking of Fan Expo Chicago, she is supposed to be at she was supposed to be at Fan Expo Chicago, and obviously can't. I hope they did what they did with Peter Mayhew, where they made a tribute table.
They might.
Fans can come up, sign a book, and then it goes to would be her mom. But yeah, I met her at Rhode Island back in 23, and got her to sign my friend's. Here's a flashback: Secret of the Nymph book that she didn't even know existed. She pulls out her phone and just starts recording the book, flipping through the pages because she's like, I've never seen this. It was a children's book of Secret of the Nymph. And fun fact about that, the bow that she wears, Don Bluth did for her because Shannon always wore bows as a kid.
Interesting.
So that was added for her character because of Shannon. So Shannon passed away. Rest in peace. She'll be missed. Charmed, 90210, Little House on the Prairie.
Well, I crushed on her for 90210.
Yeah, well, that's where everybody, your generation saw her. My generation,
your generation, those old people, those,
my generation grew up with Charmed.
Yeah, dirty rat.
And so yeah, she's somebody we lost. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are as well.
Well,
okay, Day, you go first, and I'm going to add my own cancer input here.
I would say this: my mom grew up on watching the Gilmore Girls and watching Shannon Darby and those shows on on when it was CW. And it was a big inspiration to her because, to be honest with you, I think that's part of the reason why she fought to, breast cancer. My mom, she is a breast cancer survivor. To see that a person that she used to watch every single day pass from that, it's like kind of like a shocker to her because in a way she admired her a lot. She loved her characters.
Right.
So yeah, she will be missed.
Well, here's what I will say personally. As someone who has been knee deep in this stuff for the last 4 months, Hollywood does a terrible job in conveying cancer. Brutally bad, because in Hollywood, it's like, I'm sorry, you've been diagnosed with cancer. And then they'll have a little trouble breathing, maybe they'll do a little hair and makeup, basically HMU, change the color of the face. Then they struggle, and then it is like 100 times more involved than what Hollywood ends up conveying this thing. There was a Robert Downey Jr. movie, I think with Robert Duvall, called The Judge, where Duvall gets cancer. Robert Downey Jr. comes back to his hometown, takes care of him. And that was a much more accurate representation of what it's like. There's stuff that I have watched over the last 4 months that I will not discuss, on air, but it's something that it is so amazingly humiliating to the person that goes through it.
Yeah.
And Hollywood does a shit job, of conveying that. But irrespective, like I said, Shannon Doherty, was one of my many weekly high school crushes. Growing up basically the way I did, my high school game was to basically leer at you awkwardly from across the room. And, when you look at me and get creeped out, that was my game. That was my win. That was my game phase, man. So Shannon Doherty was, like I said, one of the crushes from my era at that point. And
Heather's.
Yeah. But it was the only reason I watched that show, really. But it was always funny because everybody was always like, Brendan, like, crap, what was his name? Not Jason Priestley, but not Jason Priestley, not the guy from Sharknado. But
Jason.
No, Dylan Walsh, the character Dylan Walsh.
Not her brother.
No, that was Jason Priestley.
You talking about Brian Austin Green?
No, not Brian Austin. No, not Derek Reese from Terminator. Great. He played that role so freaking well in Terminator, the TV series.
You're not talking about the guy that passed away, Luke Perry.
Luke, that is. I just came to Luke Perry. It's fun. Every girl crushed on Luke Perry in that era too.
Yeah. And Riverdale, but that's a different story.
And just to let you know, if you're a wrestling fan, his son Jack Perry is a wrestler.
Yes, that is correct. Yes.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, Luke Perry. And now it's coming out of the woodwork. Everybody's like Luke Perry.
Luke
You know, the guy from the beginning of Fifth Element.
If you would have said Riverdale, I would have said Luke Perry because he played Archie's father in Riverdale. And when he passed away, they did a tribute episode.
Nice.
So, but Shannon passed away, and then another legend that passed away, but he was old as dirt, and that was Bob Newhart. And
really, you had to say that?
Yeah, I would have figured he'd have more pain with Bob Newhart than he would have with.
Hold on. So I cried when both died. Yes.
Well, did you have to say old as dirt? Really?
He was as old as dirt, and
but
so
still.
is William Shatner. So is like all the people that are doing cons right now, like William Daniels. But he was 94 years old.
So they live longer than you will ever live, boy.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna make it to 50, and I'm okay with that. I'm gonna make myself a name, and it's going to be okay. I'm okay with that.
I used to say I'm never going to live to 50, and now that I'm 48
but
and
there's
49, I'm going to live past 50.
No, there's a difference. You guys ate better. Your food was better back when you were a kid than the food that we have today.
That is
yes,
valid.
Richard Simmons passed away, which we'll mention that in a second. But I do want to give a shout out. I would have loved to meet him. Y'all know that I'm Buddy the Elf, and I do that at the conventions. And he was somebody that I wanted to meet, that I thought somehow would eventually happen. Unfortunately, it didn't. But Rob just got you in our old part.
Yeah.
Well,
dude, I've been called a boomer too, so you know.
But yeah, no, I see. Yes, this one affected me, and it's insane how many cast members we have lost from Elf. We've lost Santa Claus. We've lost Papa Elf. Now we lost Buddy's dad. The guy that was Buddy's dad's boss, he passed away. The one that made Buddy's dad work on Christmas, he passed away last year. I mean, there's a lot of cast members that have been passing away. Shannon, I had more because I felt like there was more that with the podcast, you got a different aspect and you felt more personal connection. I haven't seen Bob Newhart in anything.
Well, he'd been around, you know.
Right.
I mean, I remember Bob. I mean, here's the thing. I remember Bob Newhart really from the Newhart show back in the 80s.
Which I've never seen.
Which the one that basically where they ran a Vermont Inn. I mean, my father would remember from the old Bob Newhart show, and he used to play for me Bob Newhart stand-up, which was spectacular, where he would just hold one-sided conversations on the phone.
Wow.
And it was so well. You can find him on YouTube, but he built his career from stand-up comedy.
Right.
You know, and it was all monologue based, and it was all just, it was so sharp how he did it, so unique for its time. You know, and the ending, the series finale of Newhart is considered to be one of the greatest TV endings of all time, because no one saw that ending coming. But okay, yeah, Kyle knows what I'm talking about. This guy, yeah, where he would just have these one-sided conversations with someone on the phone, where it would be like the 17th century, and he's trying to explain like nicotine and cigarettes to somebody, and trying to explain the idea of like rolling up a leaf and smoking it. And it was just how he came across it, and basically it worked so well. The Great Sal Ferguson Airline and Storm Door Company was a great example of that. It was one of those budget airlines of all time. This is the Bob Newhart I remember.
Yeah, and that would make sense. And another thing that's funny is not that funny, but it was when he did pass. People thought, I guess there was a rumor back in 2021 that he already passed. So people thought he already passed.
It happens. People a lot of times are like, "Oh, he's still around," you know.
Yeah.
You know,
it's like when SpongeBob's creator passed away, and I keep telling people, "Oh, I met the voice of SpongeBob." They're like, "Didn't he pass away?" I said, "No, the creator passed away, not SpongeBob himself."
Tom Kenny. No, Tom Kenny's getting up there though. He's got to be about 65.
So is Jim Cummings.
And so is Clancy Brown. It's been almost 40 years since he almost decapitated a Highlander. Actually, it's been 40 years since he did Buckaroo Banzai. Still haven't gotten my sequel to that yet. So.
But yes, we also lost, which I didn't really know Richard Simmons. I know of Richard Simmons, but we lost Richard Simmons. and y'all would know more of him. I know nothing of him. I'm sorry. I just know he was the tacky dancing guy instructor that made you do yoga and stuff.
That's arguably what he was most known for, was dancing with the oldie. So,
and we also lost the kid from Alf.
From who? Oh yeah, from Alf.
Alf.
Yeah.
Not Elf, but Alf. Their kid passed away. And there's just other people that I can't think of, but we just kept losing people.
Erica Ash from Real Housewives of Hollywood just passed today.
And wait, who?
Erica Ash from Real Housewives of Hollywood.
Okay, I haven't seen
literally
that.
Today. So.
And then we lost Shelley Duvall.
Yeah.
And
we talked about her. I know that for sure.
Richard Simmons on Who's Line. Yes, he played that gay character so well. You know, and it was. I mean, I remember basically. I just got to say this before we go back to to Eric for a second. You know, Drew Carey was like, "Oh my God, this is gonna be great. I can't wait." You know, just so honest about what that was going to be. And the Richard Simmons one, you know, and it was just, yeah, it was a scenario that they were on a tropical island, and yeah, he just played the gay card so well, and it worked.
I have to disagree with you on that one.
What, he didn't play the gay card well on that one?
No, the comment that we just put up.
Oh, this one? Clancy Brown,
I'm not saying, yes, his version was pretty good, but Michael Rosenbaum's version of Lex Luthor, maybe voice-wise, Clancy Brown, you could say for animation, because it's kind of hard to compare animation to live action.
Yeah.
And yet, here's the thing. I came from the Gene Hackman era where he did 3 of the 4 Superman movies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
I don't know.
We always talk about like best Bat, best Joker, maybe best Superman. We never talk about best Bat. That may be a conversation for like next week, you know, for a subject I may call Master Debaters, about like who is the best, you know, of something. In this case, you know, debating the best Luthor.
Now you just made me think of Deadpool Wolverine. Thanks.
Based on Rob's reaction, I think I may call the segment that.
Well, you made me think of Deadpool Wolverine when he talks to somebody from the MCU and Smash. They should know what reference I'm talking about. Smash something.
No more spoilers. No more spoilers.
No more spoilers.
But yeah, Erica Ash from, you know, literally today at the age of 46 from Real Housewives.
I didn't know her.
Yeah.
She was on Mad TV.
Yes.
Never watched that. But rest in peace.
Yeah. Younger than I am, which is always weird when people younger than you start to kick. You know.
Everybody's younger than you, right, Scott? No, I'm just kidding.
Actually, statistically speaking, more than half the population is. Yeah. I am at this point
85.
I am under 14 months away from the age of 50. So I will be able to get my AARP card September of next year. And trust me, I'm getting that thing. Because I will go this personality going into like a 4 p.m. buffet and displaying my AARP card for a 10% discount. Come on, man. That's going to be so much fun.
And I can't wait to get you an over the hill kind of cake too.
I'll go for it. Dude. Yeah. Listen.
Are you going to
I'll get it. I know people in Jersey.
You're like, yeah, Ming.
No,
me.
I know other people.
Actually, you know what? One more thing. I guess we're at an hour and 10, but maybe we'll do one more thing. The trailer for Kevin Smith's latest film, the 4:30 movie, got released.
Yeah.
Today.
I haven't seen that trailer.
I saw the trailer.
Yeah, it takes place in 1986. It's about, you know, a guy and a girl going to see a guy asking out his crush to go see a movie at 4:30. And it's a pretty simple premise in this case. I did do 2 days on that film, ironically, the last day of filming as well. And Kevin Smith, I see why everybody keeps coming back to want to work with Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
His days are short. He will do a 10 or 11-hour day because he'll film everything and he will edit it. Our last day of filming was September 13th of last year. And by the way, I should probably, as I think about it, I should probably start grabbing guests for 4:30. Like Ernie and Dante, Ernie and Brian and Scott and the rest of them. I'll start working on that. But it was one of those things that by the time he finished filming the movie, he had 45 minutes of it already finished and edited. And he literally said, if you guys want to stick around, I'm going to be playing the first half of the movie, you know, when we're done with the wrap today. he was that fast with editing it that it's insane. Because you think about the turnaround time. He had almost half the movie edited by the time he finished filming it.
Now, is this the movie that's rated PG-13?
I think it is, yes.
Yeah.
Because I think he talked about this because he also has a podcast, and he was talking about how he debated about this being a rated R movie because most of his movies are rated R. And
Jersey Girl was not, though.
Yeah.
Right. But he also, speaking of editing, is he normally only edits his own movies, but he talked in the podcast. Logic, the singer, made his own movie. I don't know when that comes out. I don't know, but Kevin Smith edited, and he said he never done it before somebody else's. He's always done his. So the way his, and what he was commenting on Logic, and like Scott said, Kevin Smith likes to get people in and out of studio. Logic would spend 2 to 3 hours doing a scene just because he thought it was cool looking.
Yeah.
And it made the movie work. And he said, maybe I should implement some of that stuff. But he, like you said, he's always about getting people in and out because he always makes a joke. I don't want people being embarrassed, or it's bad enough they're in a Kevin Smith movie or something. He always says, it's like how
I would do anything to be in a Kevin Smith movie.
I would love that.
I don't know what his next one is. But we did 2 days. It was down in Atlantic Highlands, so it's about an hour south of us. And it was down, down at the movie theater.
18 hours south of me.
It's going to be a little bit of a hike for you, yeah. But it was the movie theater that Ernie O'Donnell owns. Cool. Ernie played Rick Darris in the earlier films and everything like that. Ernie, I should try to drop him a message on this. It's giving me a good idea. I'll start bringing in some Kevin Smith people. But
that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
we'll take them.
Yeah, I can do it. Because in this case, I mean, there's a fair amount of cameos that are going to be in this. But it's interesting because you look at the cast of this film, and he has so many people that have already, Justin Long, Jason Lee have done it so many times. Kate McCucci's been in a couple. Diedrich Bader, I think, has done a couple.
What are the odds of getting Justin Long?
A long shot. I don't have Justin's contact info. Okay. It's weird. I just did a movie with him like a month ago. It was a stripper movie with him, Ron Perlman, and somebody else.
Okay, he talked, and it's at like a bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, he talked about this on the other podcast that Justin Long did.
Yeah, that was actually out in West Jersey in Newton, which is.
You got to film it. That's so cool. See, Scott, I need you to give me an 8x10 of yourself and just list all the movies you did, and then sign it and send it to me.
Okay. I'm so not, dude. At my high point, maybe I was like an L-list celebrity.
I mean, you've worked on a lot of The Greatest Showman, which is referenced in Deadpool, Wolverine, which was
here's what I'll say about Greatest Showman. We did like 12 or 14 days. Me, Richard Haas, a dude named Andrew Oppenheimer, a guy named Tommy McGinnis, all of us, Andrew Congiana. We were this tight-knit group. This dude named Chris Spurrier. We were this tight-knit group that for 3 months we came in together, we went out together. It was such a bond of unity for that film. It was better. That was Zac Efron, whatever, don't care. Zendaya, don't care. It was the bond that happened between all of us day in and day out on that thing that made that experience awesome.
Yeah.
And the several thousands of dollars it paid us, don't get me wrong.
And you get in to meet Hugh.
Yeah. Hugh was cool. Hugh was definitely cool. And a lot of the performers were awesome and everything like that. But like I said, a lot of it was just this unity with these guys that, you feel this, you have this weird bond. The movie Nonstop with Liam Neeson, those guys spent a month together on that. And there was a massive bond, for all the people that were on that flight. And I get it, But anywho's, but like I said, maybe next week we'll do, something called Master Debaters, and we'll discuss, who's the best of whatever.
I like that.
So, all right. So maybe we'll call it that if you're okay with it. But I will, like I said, I'll start reaching out to a couple of the people on that and see what I can do.
That'd be cool.
So,
all right.
Cool. Do you guys have anything else, or are you okay?
I think we've talked about everything that we needed to talk about. SDCC, I mean, it was cool. So, I can't wait until we get the actual trailers that they showed. There's a leaked version of the Fantastic Four, and what I could see of it because it was in like a little screen, it looked interesting. So we'll see. So,
and cool. I'll be going to New Jersey HorrorCon next week.
All right,
because the movie I'm in is being screened there.
Nice.
And there is somebody from Deadpool and Wolverine that's going to be.
Oh yeah, Tyler Mane.
Yeah. Sabretooth.
Oh, I better shut up. Oh my gosh, that was insane. But anyways, but yeah. So hey guys, I'm Robert. That's Day, and that's Scott, and this is Tales from the Film Set. Woo!